So David, many people in this room may not understand where OpenAP is today relative to where it was when it launched a couple of years ago. Why don't you give us a quick elevator pitch about where it is right now and what your intent is?
Sure. So, look, I think the vision is actually the same. It's really been how do we scale advanced advertising in the TV ecosystem, and really by focusing on adding value to the buy side through scale and simplicity. We started with just standardizing how you define an audience, how you size an audience, how you post on an audience. And now really what we've done is moved into looking at how we can create some more standardization around campaign metadata, so everything around day parts and goals and optimization, and then building technology around that. So as you can build technology around that, now you can actually start to bring automation, which helps with simplicity, and all the networks together, and that's really what we've been unveiling with our OpenAP marketplace.
Got it. Thanks. So Jodie, give the room the elevator pitch about what you're trying to accomplish with Project OR.
So there are actually some common philosophical points, particularly as relates to scale. I think there have been, from both an Inscape and a Vizio perspective, I think we had seen previous attempts at trying to get to scale that really were, in our mind, rigid in that it was trying to force an entire industry into a single solution. And our position was actually the way to scale is flexibility and interoperability and the idea of building sort of a core building block that is what we're referring to as an open standard, and then frankly just giving it away. And selfishly, our goal is that we want to continue to find ways to monetize Vizio glass, and we think that our glass is more valuable if there's more glass around it.
Got it. Or the opportunity for you to monetize is bigger if there's more glass around.
That's correct.
Yep. All right. So David, I'm not sure if you were here earlier, but Nicole spoke pretty highly of data-driven linear. So as you think about your roadmap, how much cooperation do you need from the agency world? Are you getting the cooperation you need now, or what's your ask for this room?
Yeah, I mean, I think we are just at the beginning stages of really engaging the agency community. That is something that is coming very soon. And we're going to need a lot of collaboration with the agencies to really improve our product. I think we're just at the baseline of starting to build all those standards I just talked about. But now it's around, as we're rolling this out to clients, understanding how they want to use it, how they want to plug our marketplace into their own systems and tools, and then really listening to them about how best to improve our product.
Got it. Got it. And do you have a vision for, if you think about sort of the trajectory from an agency builds a plan, they then decide what to buy within that plan, then they start to transact. Do you have a sense of where OpenAP fits into that trajectory and exactly where you're going to improve what people are doing today?
Yeah, so look, I think the nice thing with the new OpenAP market, a buyer can come, define an audience once, and actually get back a optimized plan across close to 20 networks, across linear and digital, all in one place. Yep. And so we think that's a really powerful thing. And the way that we've kind of set our philosophy is open, as you see in the name. And yep. Our thing is you can either come to us directly and build that plan, or you can plug in with your own tools. So if you have your own buy-side tool like Amobi, great. You can plug in through that. But we kind of see ourselves as bringing together all of the publishers and the sell side and creating some consistency around all the campaign operations that's happening in order to bring that automation to scale.
Got it. Got it. So Jodie, for OR to succeed, you need TV manufacturers to want to collaborate, you need the agencies, and you need the publishers, the networks. What's your
super simple?
Yeah,
right?
It's all easy, and the added complexity of the TV manufacturers probably is one reason you're 35 years old and you have white hair. So where do you think
And I've worked for 2 of them, actually.
Yeah. So where are we? I mean, do you believe that other TV OEMs are going to be willing to deploy your standard? Does it, you obviously have a little bit of a wrinkle with Nielsen playing in this space, and we know Nielsen does not collaborate at all.
Wrinkle's a word for it, sure.
So talk a little bit about where you see the market, and someone mentioned before, addressability takes off when there's 70% of homes able to be lit up.
So I think the title of this was Pipe Dream or Reality, right? So, and some of you've heard me say this. I'm old enough to know that the media landscape is littered with the dead carcasses of consortiums that have failed. When I was a teenager, my mom told me she thought I should be a politician. And while I'm 100% sure she didn't intend for that to be a compliment, there are certain personality traits about that have served me well in trying to wrangle the cats that are our group. So let's start with the founding members who were the networks and the inventory owners and then the agencies. I keep expecting to send out an invitation to a meeting and get all of 2 replies. And yet everyone over the course of the last now going on year and a half has leaned in very hard. We get at least 25 to 30 participants in all of our meetings. We had a subgroup that drafted a measurement spec that will get distributed here in the next week or so. I've been actually, I hate to be, Stoyer knows I have a fairly dim view of humanity, so I hate to say something positive about my fellow man, but I've been super, it's been, actually the collaboration has been fantastic, and it's actually been fun. Let's go to the OEMs. I think some of the OEMs, one specifically, is still walking around with the bruises from a previous attempt at this. We keep them all read in. So we had a call with 3, so there are 4 big OEMs. We're one, there are 3 others that shall remain nameless. We had calls with all 3 last week. We keep them updated on what our progress is. We will probably be rolling out some trials at the first of the year. We think the next tipping point in terms of getting the other OEMs to join is when it's real. And so we're sort of sitting back and not really pushing very hard on them. We will have a working product by the first of the year, and when our members start pushing inventory through that product, the proof will be in that pudding, for lack of a better word, and then we think they'll adopt it. I mean, the other thing is, as we've said this entire time, once it's done, I'm not interested in licensing this technology. We're going to give it away to everybody for free.
Yep. And is it one of the things that's, I think, interesting about Project Or is the fact that you have one of this event's sponsors, Comcast, sitting at the table. Is there the view that in a couple of years you're going to have 2 addressable marketplaces peacefully coexisting? You could do addressable through the smart TV. You could do addressable through the cable pipes. And it's going to be up to the data, the technology, the pricing, the yield, and all of that to sort of guide an agency's decision on where to play.
So we made a purposeful decision to invite them to the table on day 1. And part of that was when we actually socialized the concept with them originally, we said, look, you guys own inventory as well. Mm-hmm. This represents additional reach for you. It would make sense for you to be at the table. Now, getting back to the theme of pipe dream and reality and politics, I mean, look, someone said this on one of the earlier panels about the fact that, I mean, any project like this I've ever been involved with, it was never the technology that caused it to fail. It was always the politics and the egos. Yeah. And sometimes the business models, but that's all kind of wrapped up together. I continue to believe that having all of those people at the table, I mean, someone else made a reference about Canoe. Obviously with Or and sort of the whole water thing, there were going to be the inevitable comparisons to Canoe 1.0, and to me, we are actually the beneficiaries of very good timing, and what I mean by that is, back when Canoe 1.0 launched, there wasn't the existential threat of Facebook and Amazon and Netflix and Google. And so I think our members know that they have to work together in order to combat that, and we benefit from that.
But for both of you guys, is the existential threat FANG, or is the is it really just there's never been a point where networks need to monetize their content investment at the level they need to because of what's gone on with consumer behavior, declining ratings? I mean, because I'm not, on one hand, it's good to be competitive from a move perspective. On the other hand, it feels like moving fast is like, really important. What's your view of sort of where the publisher side is as it relates to this stuff?
I mean, I think it was a really good point there around, look, I think the bigger threat by far is the fact that you're going to have 3 new direct-to-consumer offerings, all ad-free, coming into the market, all competing for consumers' time and attention. And for the ad-supported television industry, we better be ready to have a better consumer experience that will make sure we actually retain users. And I think we're all now investing in new ways to transact, better ways to reduce waste so we can get more relevant advertising in front of people. That has to also result in a better consumer experience and likely reducing ads. But the only way that kind of works is if the economics work. The cost of content is not getting cheaper.
Nope.
So we had to kind of figure out, like, this. All of this cannot be just an opportunity to make a little bit more money. This has to be, otherwise it's going to be making a little bit more money out of a very small amount of inventory. The better play is we all have to be investing in this space in order to generally grow it and make sure that ad-supported television has a sustainable future.
Well, but also the other part of, and you saw this at Fox, I saw this in my prior life at Turner, it's hard to justify premium content investments based on ad models alone, especially in a place where there's shrinking supply.
Especially on your own. I mean, I think that was the main thing that I picked up, whether it was Truex or Fox. Every new thing that we did, regardless if it worked, if we were trying to just go up that hill on our own, it was difficult for agencies to invest a big amount to do something new with just one of us. Yep. So the fact that we're now compromising and small compromises that basically mean we're all pushing the same ball up the hill, we're going to have success. And that was at Fox. Look, the biggest success we had with new advanced ad products, we did tons of amazing things. A 6-second ad by far got the most pickup, and that was mainly because it was easy to adopt by a multitude of publishers, and YouTube was pushing it too. So we knew that this is something that, the more that we can get all on the same page, and make sure that agencies' investments in things that are new can scale, that's going to be a win.
Got it. Jodie, what's your perspective? Do you feel like there's enough motivation for people to move as fast as we need to be moving?
Yes. I mean, I didn't expect the answer to be that simple, but yeah, I do, actually.
That's great. Is there anything you need from the agency side to help both of your initiatives move faster? Is there anything they could be doing to sort of escalate?
From our perspective, it's exactly what we are currently getting from the agencies, which is input and continuing to sit at the table, and when we are drafting a measurement spec, contributing to the drafting of that measurement spec, and to have a voice in all of this. I mean, we made a purposeful decision after we made the announcement about OR that at some point there was going to have to be a discussion around what the measurement requirements were going to be for addressable, and having that conversation without buy-side voices at the table was probably not a great idea. And so we brought them to the table, and they're participating. A lot of them are in this room. And so really at this stage of the game, that's all we can ask for now as we do go live, and our members do start putting inventory into the system or into the platform and running addressable campaigns. I guess then the next thing that I would ask is buy inventory from them, please.
Right. David, what about OpenAP?
Yeah, I mean, look, OpenAP got founded because a lot of the feedback from the agency community was, instead of everybody defining audiences in different ways, make it easier for us, create some standards, and then have some third-party validation that the delivery was actually against the audiences that were set out, and don't grade your own homework. And so a lot of this came from feedback from the agency. What we're planning on rolling out this year is an agency council, so we want to get a lot more feedback. A lot of the stuff we're going to be focusing on is more on the measurement side this year. So as we start to develop more standards, we're going to really lean into our agency relationships. And then I think overall, I think we all tend to get in these rooms and talk a lot about what the end state is or the most optimal outcome. And I think what we can all do is help start to find an incremental benefit of pushing the ball forward. So it doesn't have to be the perfect solution on every single platform.
Sure.
We have to find common ground on where we can activate things that are, you know, the best ideal solution on one platform and maybe not the most ideal solution on the other platform, and how do we bring all those things together? I think that's hopefully what we can get a lot of collaboration from the buy side on.